ladies and gentlemen. The NDRRMC meeting is called to order. We first hear the opening remarks of the Honorable Roel Digamo.
His Excellency President Benigno S. Aquino III, Speaker Belmonte, members of the House of Representatives, Department Secretaries, Heads of Offices, Regional Directors, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, maayong hapon natong tanan. As Governor of Negros Oriental, I am not sure if this is the right time to welcome guests and visitors to our province, taking into consideration our present situation. But since you are here primarily to know what happened to us during the last 4 days and our present condition, because of your concern for us and for the province of Negros Oriental, and not as visitor, for that we are very thankful, Mr. President. On behalf of all Negrenses, we welcome you to our province wholeheartedly, albeit a little sadly because of what happened. We wish to inform you that the province of Negros Oriental is one of the many provinces in the country heavily affected by the tropical storm Sendong. Just recently, the province of Negros Oriental was awarded as one of the top best performing provinces in the country by the Department of Interior and Local Government. This piece of information is something that I am very proud to tell you about. Sadly, however, Negros Oriental recently experienced the onslaught of tropical storm Sendong, and at present we have a total of 10 local government units, 8 municipalities, and 2 cities that experienced massive damage brought about by the said typhoon. The damage on infrastructure, agriculture, properties with quite a number of lives lost greatly devastated our province and our people. Fortunately, if I may say so, this is something that is new to us. And you can just imagine the feeling of devastation that we feel right now, especially at the time when we are supposed to be preparing for the celebration of the holidays. We have officially recorded 37 casualties, with 7 others still missing in the 8 cities, 8 municipalities, and municipalities heavily affected by the onslaught of tropical storm Sendong. By the way, let me thank the Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council headed by Mr. Chungson, Allen of the Office of the Civil Defense, the Philippine Army, the Philippine National Police, the Bureau of Fire, the NUSAR, and all rescue group who helped in the rescue operation during the Saturday event. In addition, a total of 10,420 families in the above-mentioned municipalities and cities are affected. The total estimated cost of damage on infrastructure is at 388.5 million pesos. We have also estimated some 41 million pesos damage on agriculture. We have done our preparations as stipulated in our PDRRM plan for 2011 to 2015. But this experience taught us that we still have more to do as far as preparedness is concerned. I must humbly say that there is still a huge gap that we need to fill in, especially in as far as the awareness of our people is concerned with regards to the importance of being prepared in times of calamities. Finally, on behalf of the province, I would like to extend to you our most sincere thanks and gratitude for your concern, Mr. President. At least now, we are assured and optimistic that with your help and support, we can make it through these hard times. Thank you, and may God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Governor Digamo. We now listen to Director Minda Murante, who will give us the OCD's report.
Magandang hapon po, Mr. President, sirs, madam. This is to present to you an update on disaster operations in Central Visayas due to Storm Sendong as of December 20, 2011. Just to give you a brief background, Tropical Storm Sendong was experienced in the region on Friday afternoon, December 16, 2011. It struck the province of Negros Oriental on December 17 at dawn, affecting several towns. Continuous heavy downpour of rain associated with strong winds from midnight to early morning of December 17 had caused widespread flooding, affecting residents along the river banks and the low-lying areas in Negros Oriental province, while no significant damage received from provinces of Cebu, Siquijor, and Bohol. Province of Siquijor reported only one Bantay Dagat patrol boat anchored at Placid Pier was destroyed by the big waves and strong winds. Damage assessment showed that the 4 provinces in the region, Negros Oriental, suffered the brunt of Storm Sendong. Preparedness plan. Pag-asa issued weather advisory for Tropical Storm Sendong on December 13. That's 4 days before the landfall. And immediately on the same day, the Office of Civil Defense disseminated the advisory with recommended preparedness measures to all the provincial disaster risk reduction and management councils and member agencies of the regional council for appropriate actions such as alerting the threatened communities as well as pre-positioning and mobilization of resources. This include the Central Command and the Police Regional Office 7. Prior to the landfall, that's the 3 days, the local disaster risk reduction of Negros Oriental, Governor Joel Digamo convened the provincial capital, the provincial council, and coordinated with the PNP and the 302nd Brigade to preposition their SAR assets for immediate deployment in case of worst-case scenario. Likewise, media were utilized to disseminate warning, and the Philippine National Police to enforce preemptive evacuation. On the early dawn of December 17, 2011, these 2 big rivers, Ocoy and Banica, traversing from Valencia municipality, overflowed and likewise resulted to the overflowing of waters in different dikes and creeks, affecting downstream municipalities of Sibulan and city of Dumaguete and Tanjay River, overflowed affecting Tanjay City and Buos River in Amlan. Sir, this is the different areas in Negros Oriental that were affected. We have a total of 37 dead, missing, pito rin po, and, sorry sir, this is a total of 247 injured. That's in Negros Oriental. 1 vessel ran aground on December 17, 2011. Total of 34 crews together with immediate families were rescued safely. To give you a profile, sir, in Region 7, in Negros Oriental, we have 37 dead, 7 missing, 247 injured, 1 in Cebu Province, in Mandawi City. We placed the damages to agriculture to 388.5 million and infrastructure 40.9 million. This is subject for validation, sir. As to the actions taken, we have established a total of 12 evacuation centers. DSWD were able to serve a total of 6,322 families, representing 60% of the families affected. The Department of Health provided medicines and medical assistance to injured victims as early as Saturday. Relief operations still ongoing, as well as assessment and validation of damages by DPWH and DA in coordination with the local government. We have already terminated the search and rescue, and the focus now is on the recovery of missing and identification of the dead victims. Aerial survey conducted on affected areas to assess the extent of damage, after which a meeting was held with the governor. So that ends my presentation, sir. Thank you.
I have several questions. Why did you terminate the search and rescue? Given na po? Wala na leads, wala na po.
Sir, wala na po. As of yesterday, nakafocus na lang po kami sa recovery ng 7 missing person at meron pa po kami naiwan ng mga dalawa na unidentified.
Yung kanina 34, one vessel run aground, 34 women.
Cruise, yes sir,
And
together with families.
Ano yung sabihin ng and the immediate families?
Kasi sir,
Alam mo
nandito
ba?
po yung Coast Guard sir, kasi according to the report of the Coast Guard, parang maki-Christmas party po sila nung inabutan po nung masamang panahon.
Affordable.
It's a commercial cargo vessel.
Yung 37 casualties, where were they residing when the typhoon struck? They were living in the river banks, tsaka sa area.
Yes sir.
Low-lying areas.
Opo sir, opo. Kasi
All
there are
37.
2 big rivers, yung Bukoy tsaka Banica rivers. Banica rivers is situated in Dumaguete City, while yung Bukoy River, galing po siya sir sa bukid ng Valencia municipality. Kaya nung bumaba, pumasok doon sa mga different dikes sa baba, then affecting the downstream municipalities of Sibulan. Kaya po malaki yung casualties namin sa Sibulan municipality.
Yeah,
Ito po
but
located
what is important is where were they residing in this area that had
mostly sir along the river banks.
river banks? May you have an idea gano'ng kalayo kung the river banks is situated to houses?
Nakita ko namin sa taas sir widespread yung flooding kasi doon sa previous experience po namin, kasi this is the worst, parang overwhelming yata sir because binasihan namin sir yung amount of rainfall na pumasok po dito sa Negros Oriental. At yung capacity po nung river ay only nasa 25 millimeters at yung bumagsak po ay nasa 120 millimeters. So, sobra-sobra po talaga.
Pero part of the warning contained
Yes,
an
sir.
estimate of how much rain would be coming, di ba?
Kasama po yung sir sa advisory ng Pag-asa. Yung ginawa po ng OCD ay paano i-prepare po yung mga LGUs at communities.
So, did you know beforehand that yung river systems could accommodate only 25 millimeters of rain
Opo, sir.
before it started? Tama yan. That is knowledge, common knowledge already. Pero balik-balik tayo, yung communities are on the river banks.
Karamihan po, karamihan po.
And you don't know kung gaano kalayo from the river banks. Tinatawag na eastman.
Kasi sir, isang senaryo po nakita namin dito sir, mga dry creeks na dati matagal na hong hindi talaga nadadaanan ng tubig at nagkaroon ng structure. So, isa ito sa mga sinalagtak po
What is
talaga.
structure on a dry creek?
Dito po sa may Dumaguete, yung Banica River,
Okay. Yung structure is a dike, small dam, house.
bahay po, mga bahay.
May kayo
Nagkaroon
sa
po
bahay,
ng mga
sa dry
bahay doon sa mga dry creeks. Opo, sir. Na matagal na po na hindi talaga nadadaanan ng tubig.
Alienable ba dry creek?
Sir,
Alienable? Pwede ba tira?
tingin namin sir, hindi.
Hindi ko rin I just want it very clear. And, may part of the prediction of Pag-asa. Nasabihin na you'll have X amount of rainfall per hour. Yung 100 na sinabi, yung 100 for the duration of the storm.
Ito po sir yung assessment na binigay po sa atin ng Director sir ng Environmental Management Bureau.
Okay.
Yung advisory po na binibigay ng Pag-asa, yung speed, yung gustiness, o kung kailan papasok sa Philippine Area of
Huwag
Responsibility.
natin limit mo na. Yung rain lang, yung amount of water that will be coming in.
Sir, hindi po pumasok doon sa advisory.
Wala advice sa rain? Amount of rain?
Wala po.
Bakit tama yan? Yung part and parcel of the report is now projected because the document provides us that opportunity. But it was not part of the advice, give it to OCD. You have to check. Anyway, so the thing I'm highlighting,
Yes, sir.
kasi pag nag-issue ng warning,
Opo.
kadalasan intensity ng hangin. Sa yung truck, ganito yung hangin. Tapos siguro, karamihan ng Pilipino, pag hindi ka ng grade school, yeah, yung storm signal number 3 ang iniintindi. Mali man rin kung papalaot na. Pero kung nasa land area na, parang 2, dami niyan. Pero pag naging pero siniseryoso. Ngayon gusto ko na maintindihan kasi meron tayong capacity to more or less estimate the amount of rainfall that will come in. So kung alam na niya yung river system can only accommodate 25 millimeters of rain, siguro per hour yung measurement. Therefore, yung communities that are on the river banks, communities on the dry creeks, etc., alam na niyo mag-overflow yung river and they should have been evacuated. But if it was not given to you as information, that is something to have to do.
Hello, Mr. President. There was no advice insofar as rainfall is concerned with the Pag-asa. 4 days before that happened, we met, the PTRMC met, and we issued stern warning that we issued the local disaster coordinating council regarding the typhoon. And 1 day before that happened, may media, annual media, media affair.
1 day before. So
Yeah, 1 day. Yes, sir. In-issue ko again sa media na mag-ingat tayo kasi may mga, sinabihan ko yung OCD natin na si Mr. Allen at saka si Allen naman ay nag-communicate lahat ng mga natin dito sa probinsya natin. Kasi tingnan ko, ang Negros Oriental ay matatamaan talaga. So walang warning on how much rain na mag-fall sa natin, sir. Yung river dikes natin ng Dumaguete, nandito si Mayor Chiquiting, mayroon tayong river dikes dyan. For 40 years, hindi umapaw ang tubig. Hindi umapaw ang tubig dyan.
Sa time,
Yes, sir.
for 0 years.
Yes, sir. And then, ang sabi nila, after the typhoon, ang sabi ng Pag-asa ay ganito, yung isang buwan ng normal rain ay 2 oras na binuhos during that time. So biglang umapaw yung tubig sa dikes na yung mga tauhan natin dito naka-position dito sa beside the river dikes, yun ang natamaan kaagad.
So, nagbabantay nung river ang namatay. Ano ba yun?
Hindi, sir. Parang bigla eh. Bigla eh. So, may naanod kaagad. And then yung rescue natin ay talaga nakafocus doon sa densely populated area. Kaya nga yung Dumaguete, kunti lang yung na-damage. Kasi marami talagang tao dyan sa sa Bagyong River. So, yun ang nangyari sa natin.
Meron bang geohazard map in-issue sa either for the whole of Negros Oriental or the cities and municipalities? Meron ba kayo ganun? That is in possession of the various municipalities.
Meron po, sir. We have the inventory ng mga high, moderate, at saka yung mga low-lying areas. Landslide, prone to landslide, tsaka prone to
Flash floods.
flash floods. Meron po, we have.
Na-validate ba yung flash floods in relation to Sendong? Yung map, gano'n ka-accurate versus yung nangyari sa Sendong?
Sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm Mayor Charles from the municipality of Valencia. Actually, we're the hardest worst hit municipality in Negros Oriental. When we're talking about the distance between the river banks and the houses, that's roughly almost 1 meter away.
1 meter lang.
Yeah. Actually, sa lahat na report, I don't know kung saan nila nakuha yung mga report na iba, but to be honest with you, a lot of people are staying by the river banks.
Staying, sorry.
Sa river banks talaga, Mr. President. So, our situation right now is in my municipality, we've been telling them not to stay there anymore because there's nothing definite in our nature. So, ang advice lang natin sa kanila is to stay out of the river banks. Mahirap na problema, but all we can do is just to prevent this thing to happen again. And we have a report, we'll be submitting it to you, Mr. President. Actually, there are 15 dead people in Valencia, 5 are still missing, and 1 injured victim, and about 340 houses lost. That's almost 2,000 members of the family. So we lost 1 bridge that they called the presidential bridge from Gloria, President Macapagal. Sana ho mapalitan ng Ninoy Aquino Bridge. You know, siguro yung ano noon, kaya siya nagpadala. Tinangay siya para mapalitan ng bago. At saka,
Let me last one before we leave this topic. Yung, this been brought to our attention kasi that not too many Filipinos pay attention to actually how much rainfall is. And in fact, we issued a new order with regards to suspension of classes, etc. In a standardized natin. There is a provision in that new order that talks about rainfall. Yung storms kasi, suspension of classes based on storm signals. Then yung local government units are now authorized to suspend classes and work if there is an unseasonably strong rains. It's another category. But in the interim, and the OST is working on this, before we come up with the dissemination of what exactly so many millimeters per hour constitutes and what rate it is, yung as a rough guide, and the standard now is anything above 7.5 millimeters per hour is considered heavy. So, 7.5 millimeters. Itong Sendong was 10 to 20. 10 to 25. So, anong value nun? Yung respective LGUs will know which communities are in danger or in danger-prone areas. You hear 7.5, no? You are empowered at 10121 Republic Act, Disaster Risk Reduction Mitigation Law. Local disaster councils may recommend implementation of forced or preemptive evacuation of local residents. Then of course, sa Constitution has Article 2, Section 5, yung General Welfare Clause. You reverse you have the authority, but you also have the responsibility. So sama na rin yung zoning. Kaya huwag natin papayagan na nandito. Yung, and it's going to emphasize that after this, I'll listen to all of your needs. We are experiencing global climate change. Okay? There is a map being prepared now that will show you the changing rain patterns. Kaya mababawasan sa Mindanao ng rainfall, madadagdagan sa Visayas and certain portions of Luzon. You will notice that this particular typhoon, normally it will enter Bicol and head north. Dito nag-flood. Halos. Now, ang point siguro, that this was the point that I was stressing in Cagayan and Iligan. Iligan, ang daming infrastructure na sila dahil sa lagi. And they're supposed to be lagban. Okay. Our casualties, we have 37 here. And you tell me that they're all living in areas that were, parang creek, dry creek. Before nagkaroon ng overflow. At some point in time, this is where water will be flowing. It's not a question of, will these things happen? Yeah. The question is, when will it happen? And what are we supposed to do about it? We have, since I got into office, we've already activated 4 Doppler radars. And the radars, these Doppler radars are supposed to tell us to estimate the amount of rainfall that will be coming in. There will be an additional 3 by next year. We will also be deploying 1,000 automatic water level sources in the 18 major river basins of the country. Basically, it gives you a warning. We're targeting 6-12 hours. 6. As of now, parang 6-hour warning that your levels have increased to a point that is already dangerous. But of course, that's the national effort. But Pag-asa will be disseminating all this information. Normally, when it enters an area of responsibility, hindi mo nagiging hourly na reporting. So you can actually track and their website is always online. We will also record them, but they're also supposed to disseminate to you. Then we will put up that protocol of exactly sa rainfall. What does X amount of rainfall mean flowing in X number? Ngayon paano sa sulong, yung area na sila sa tama na hinatuan, they were adequately informed, they were adequately prepared in the casualties. None, no casualties in the same amount of rainfall in the Negros, and you've seen the newspapers how many have actually died. May isa infrastructure na list, so next time, start to go over. You can tell us what exactly you need right away. In Cagayan, sabi sa kanila, water, then yung reunionization, and then food. Iligan, it's more yung moving to the next phase na. Relocation of those rehabilitation government.
Before that, Mr. President, I think ang reasons why kunti yung damage natin dito in terms of casualties because during that time I directed Colonel Bertuccio to forcefully evacuate yung mga taong nandun sa paligid ng rivers. So yun ang nangyari, Mr. President. And then what the families who are affected needs are yung water rehabilitation of water, and then yung kuryente natin. Yes, sir.
What is water rehabilitation?
Ay natangay sa baha yung mga tubo ng water system natin, Mr. President. And then ang ibang mga reservoir na damage ng bagyo, at saka electricity. And yung mga important roads natin, Mr. President, talagang kailangan na ma-rehabilitate kaagad. Yung mga major roads natin, yung tulay na natangay ng baha. Thank you.
Mr. President, we will look into the water district requirements. As far as the roads, we already have the listing of the damage. I understand 3 bridges and some roads totaling 37.5, including the Candao Dam. That was also damaged. Irrigation
7.5 million.
Yes.
Mr. President, please.
Excuse me. Actually, when you said about the damage that typhoon has done to our province, actually, in my industrial park, the damage was almost 50 million. The building and the equipment is worth 100 million. And that's a newly constructed industrial park in Negros Oriental, Mr. President.
This is private.
No, government, by the local government of
There's
Valencia.
insurance for it.
Yeah, meron na. Pero mas malaki yung bago pa kasing dating yung mga equipment namin doon. Yun ang inaano namin right now. Foreign investor kasi yun from Norwegian. And we just started that thing there. Hindi pa nakasimula, nadamay na kaagad. And actually, yung water system in my municipality, everything is lost and no water in the whole entire LGU. That's why
No water due to
the damage yung lahat ng water system, pipelines, everything. Yung reservoir namin, natabunan ng buhangin. So we're trying to rehabilitate everything, Mr. President.
that's also in the report.
Yes, it's here.
West. Okay. Josie,
I'm just here to support because my heart feels for those who lost their lives and also those people who lost their homes. And that's the reason why I'm here, just to support the mayor, especially our partners in public service. Like what Ricky, the mayor of Valencia, is the worst hit by all of this typhoon. And from the report of the good lady over there, I think it's more than what she just mentioned, 300-something million. Because right now, even Valencia alone, from their report, already amounts to more than 200 million, just for one municipality alone. So, well, we really have to synchronize or probably get all these facts validated before it can be programmed or
Mr. President, Valencia and Mayor of Dumaguete. Actually, what happened here was, all we have here, we have 4 overflows, and the water will sink through the overflows, so we really need bridges. So we can close it, so by doing so, then the water will not really pass through the
And there's a proposal that you forwarded us.
Yes, I will do that, Mr. President.
And anybody else has anything else to say? Suggestion?
We have here the complete report of the province, and I will give it to you for your information.
President, I made a report, maybe.
It doesn't contain the water district and the water issue. But please send it to us as soon as possible. Alam mo, yung financial situation is, we have something like 1.17 billion in the calamity fund. But there are several areas that will be going on that. Cagayan, Iligan, yours, portion of Benigno, and also a portion of Negros Oriental. Yung sa kanila naman, it's not Sendong, it's the northeasterly monsoon that affected them. At anyway, we'll pare down exactly what you really need at this point in time. We'll discuss it with you before we implement. And then we'll draw on that fund. Now, in addition to that, there are other funds that are available to be savings of government. Plus, we have a facility that we paid into to be able to access our block. That does take care of disaster risk. It helps our deficit picture. If we are able to, in the last remaining days of December, put it into 2011 expenditures rather than 2012. So as soon as I get back to Manila, talk to those and see if we can fast track this. Ngayon, kung pwede, let's limit it muna to getting you at least back to where you were before. Then if we can add to the preparedness to meet such eventualities. Pero kung pwede, huwag na natin isama yung other wish list. Medyo sabay-sabay yung needs. George.
What do we send the proposals to your office there?
My office. And then farm it out to the respective departments.
My experience before was if we are going to ask money from that fund, there's so many requirements. What would be the requirements so far as this fund is concerned?
James, can you, we'll send you the
Wala na.
details. But basically, sir, my mind,
Because the requirements might be too low, Mr. President. That's the problem.
Pero naman George, yung Congress right now, ang daming yung procurement talaga. And I'm sure go through the same process. The Office of the President, when we ask for office supplies, mga 4 months. Minsan, there are too many, we'll seek amendments with Congress. But that was, the perception then was everybody who's in government will want to steal everything. Ngayon sabi na, pwede na siguro mawasan yung safeguards. Kung ma-assure naman natin na hindi ma-abscond yun. But seriously, by the time you start purchasing, baka iba na yung presyo mo, binibili 4 months after the fund. And when you don't produce, then you have to liquidate. Kulang yung quantity dahil tumas yung presyo, another issue. The solution provided more problems also. I like to emphasize that there's no other interest for anybody. Ulitin ko, may people in a danger area living a meter that's 3 feet away from the river bank. The river can accommodate 25 millimeters. Kung nasa sa ito 100 na papasok, obviously mapipicture na ito overflow. It overflows, it's a flood, and it floods the person 3 feet away. Or 1 step away. Pero sa Tagalog, isang hakbang, 1 meter. That, and, kaya na 1/4 na papasok. Obviously, the 3/4 will have to go somewhere. And it comes in with rapidity like Cagayan, or with dams like Iligan. You can imagine how much more devastating it is. Okay? So if nobody has another request, please submit it to us. Huwag naman yung sabihin Christmas at saka New Year, next year yung bigay. We can utilize it. Sa akin, we can obligate it now. It's easier on the government's finances than later. Then ask her to come up with the requirements as soon as second month. By tomorrow, they'll get in touch with you.
I asked Arno for because one of our barangay in Valencia is isolated talaga. There's no way of going there anymore.
Isolated, cannot use naval craft, cannot use helicopters.
Sa helicopter lang ang ginano namin for the rice allocation.
Rice,
Ipapadalan.
to send rice, you need the helicopter.
Yes, Mr. President.
But
Wala-
also, this is landlocked, this is an accessible by the sea.
Hindi yun. Lahat ng kalsada, Saragan damage po.
What is the
pictures of that.
name?
Barangay Malaunay po.
Is-
That's Valencia and Negros Oriental.
When can you open that road?
And one of the problems, Mr. President, is EDC is there. The
PNCC.
EDC, Energy Development Corporation, which supplies the energy for Negros Oriental.
And they're also isolated.
Yes. Yun yung inaano natin.
Yung transporting rice even for a small barangay through a helicopter, obviously is not going to work.
At least yung barangay na yun lang.
Do you have a report on that road? Anong problem, why it's closed or why the roads are closed?
It's damaged by the flood.
Okay, how big an expanse of the road is damaged?
The road is gone. It's not there anymore.
When yung damage at saka doon. Okay.
The
How many
damage
kilometers?
roughly almost 5 kilometers.
5 kilometers. This is Amlan.
Upland.
Ano yung sabihin kayo ng Amlan na per kilometer?
Kaya nung ano dati yun, asphalt na siya, gravel road.
Cemented po yun, Mr. Secretary. The pictures are there.
If I can have it, our regional director is here, I'll immediately give it to him para ma-assess na ba.
Yes, yes, Mr. Secretary. Thank you very much.
Si Director Herrera, Mr. President, is our regional director here. Paki-asikaso yung concern ni Mayor, even if it's a local road, it's damaged by calamity, let's address.
You have the data already on this. Ardi, alam mo na ba? Kung ano yung details na kailangan niya?
Sir, I think the road in question is a local road. So if you can give it to me, then we can make the program so that we can determine the funding requirements.
Baka mamabot ang birthday ko yan bago mabigay
Actually, sir,
ng benta.
actually, sir, yung sa national roads, we already have the estimates. But this one is the local road. He will give it to me now. We can have it prepared in maybe 2-3 hours. We'll have to check the site first. Then,
So sometime today you can get it.
yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay na po? Ay, yes, ma'am.
In our municipality, Sibulan, I have 7 barangays affected in the typhoon. I have 200 houses totally damaged and 500 houses partially damaged. I have 10 dead and 1 missing. And regarding the Okoy River, I had a proposal being submitted to your office last year that the Okoy River connecting Magatas and Calablugan need a presidential bridge. And until now, we are waiting your reply. But thank you so much for your reply. The presidential bridge that supposedly in Ahok River, connecting Lok and Papalogo, but until now we're still processing the lot orders.
Yung sa bridge, realize with that has come across, no? Yung Dumaguete, yung last year na request.
Yes.
Doon ba ano pa? Get the details from the mayor. Yung ating water sub naman sa Secretary Season is present. Narinig niya lahat ulit. So, but it will take us a little time to take care of the water situation in the country. just to give you an idea, when it's irrigation, it's the agriculture's issue. If it's potable water, it's RUA. If it's protecting the watershed, it's DNR. So, pag pinakita mo lahat ng agencies involved in the water situation, talaga napaka-complex. Yung dams, ano naman yun, tapos kanya-kanyang priorities, kanya-kanya. So, Secretary Singson will marry all of these concerns so that there is a cohesive water policy for the entire country. Now, that will entail, siyempre, provision, nagawa ng dikes, mga bridges, and all of that. They have to be part of a systematic plan that is not piecemeal, otherwise useless.
As of this, the provincial government headed by Provincial Governor Ligamo constructed a spillway but totally destroyed by the typhoon.
Sige ba? Meron naman.
Mr. President, good afternoon. I am from Tanjay, Mr. President. You know, sa lugar namin sa Tanjay City, we have a big river there. Pero ang problema dito kasi this river will be accepting yung mga flow of water galing sa ibang mga lugar. So that's the reason na flow siya. So na-affected yung families din doon, it reaches 3,380. But well, yung mga destroyed ng mga houses, it reaches to 138. So,
Baka bigyan na lang. Hindi can you explain yung what you call?
Good afternoon po. For the damaged houses, we already have the report as of 11 o'clock of December 19 of all your towns. And in Tanjay, ang nakalagay mo dito, the total number of damaged house is 524, 82 totally damaged and partially 442. And you have one dead. So, dun po sa partially damaged and ang mga balay wala sa danger area. So, partially damaged, not in a danger area, we can provide emergency shelter assistance. An average of 5,000 pesos per family depending on the damage. Totally damaged houses, Mayor, we provide the poor shelter assistance program, which is 70,000 pesos per house, but we have to work closely with you and DENR to ensure na hindi na sila sa danger area. Labi na sa daplin sa ilog. So, but we need to have the LGU identify the area and that it is not in a danger site, and then we provide you the poor shelter assistance program. In other parts of the Philippines, mayors, the local government unit put up what they can, like 30,000, 20,000, to increase the 70,000. But the 70,000, based on our design, you have one room and one toilet in that design already.
May I, sir, may I add to what Mayor Lawrence raised? There is a bridge that there's a bridge almost at the limit of Tanjay city boundary Bais, Naga Bridge, which is not anymore passable because of the typhoon. And I just wanted to raise this issue to add on to what Mayor Lawrence has raised, because milling season is already coming up. And to access the sugar mills, the 2 sugar mills that are in Bais, they have to use that bridge at some point. Right now, they are rerouting the traffic through some areas, but the roads are not really meant for big trucks. So it's creating quite a lot of impediments in terms of the economic sector. And especially also, if there are emergencies, it's very hard to transport patients coming from the north towards the south, because traffic from Bais, which normally only take 45 minutes to traverse, now takes from 1 hour and 30 to 2 hours.
Yung DPWH, did you hear all of those? Dear Director,
Actually, sir, the bridge itself was not damaged. It is the approach to the bridge that was damaged because of the strong flood waters. If you went to the area, you will. I think if you went to the area, we made that detour because right now they are repropping the approaches. It's just a temporary solution until we can make the approaches. Because if you notice, the bridge was damaged. It's the approaches that were washed out.
The question is, when will it be back to being utilized?
They are working on it right now, sir, and hopefully maybe in a week's time. Maybe in a week's time, they started the repropping immediately after the water subsided.
Okay, that's good. Funding for this is already there. It's part of the unit.
It's part of the. It's part.
But you're already doing it. So I should say you were already doing it.
Yes, sir. We're just trying to use whatever funds we have available. Inuutan na nga yung ibang materials para magawa.
Merong item na protection of bridges in
Yes, sir. Even the adjacent revetment was damaged by the flood. So that is part of the 37 million that we're asking.
Na-release na pala yung quick response funds.
We actually, sir, we use the immediate response fund that is available in the regional office. 1.8 billion lang po yun.
Yeah, but they're augmenting. And I'm augmenting them. They're augmenting
Yes, sir.
your augmentation.
Yung nasa amin po, ginagamit na po namin.
Yes, Mr. President. In addition to my report a while ago, during the tragedy, Mr. President, there are victims who are going to transport by ambulance, and with ambulance, Your Honor.
Wala kayo ambulance?
Yes. Because our ambulance, as of this time, is already for the past years.
Ano naman Sibulan?
Sibulan. This town, Mr. President, is Sibulan. We are in Sibulan. Yes. But it is called Dumaguete Airport, but Dumaguete Airport is in Sibulan.
Okay ba? So, anyway, I think a lot of people have done well. We can still refine the systems. Sorry about it. But there has to be, we had debts. We had 37 here. And the premise is we can still further mitigate the effects of global climate change and disaster. But if we really have to put together, and yung political will, lalo pag lumapit yung election, kapunti kayo hindi kayo pumunto, pag pinaalis dito sa isang hakbang mukha sa ilog. Pero, yung nangyari na eh. Pwede mangyari din. That's the proof that it's already possible. Dry rains. There's actually another map that will show you changing rain patterns. And sorry to be the very bad, but Visayas will be having increasing rain. There will be a reduction of rainfall in Mindanao, Tandao, portions of Visayas, portions of Luzon will have changing rain patterns and it's increasing. I'm sure a lot of us here remember the time na pag December, hindi na usulan. Ngayon, hindi na umihinto. We have La Nina next year. So, now is the time when it's sunny to start preparing, start conditioning our people, start fine-tuning all of the processes. That's the ultimate goal. No casualties. We put in the infrastructure that is less prone to being damaged by all of these natural calamities. That takes planning, that takes dissemination of information and research. So we have been working on this. Honestly, so about 1 month after I assumed office, I was told to say that there are 42 provinces that are high risk for either flash floods or landslides. So I thought, grabe naman, that's more than 50%. So I had to check. So when they came back to me, hindi pala 43, it's 66. Have areas that are at high risk. And there are certain areas, meron ng certainty. Hindi question ang will a disaster strike this area. Question na lang is, when will the disaster strike this area? Kasi hindi nasikaso. Eh, ito, talagang wake up call. One of the papers was reporting almost 1,000 casualties. And prior to this, ang dami na natin na minimize. For instance, something as simple as yung preventing ships from sailing in the stormy weather. You remember, a few months ago, every time may storm, meron missing ship, meron capsized ship, meron drowned passengers, missing passengers, etc. We're hoping that that becomes something of the past. The Coast Guard is very active. At a certain level of disturbance in the sea, they prevent movement, and that, that negates the possibility of having new casualties. Now, we are always partnering with you, we will partner with all of you to improve our capabilities, to be able to protect our people better. Okay, so there's nothing else, and I thank you. Kung pwede naman everything that we discussed, please send it to a formal letter. Bigyan mo lang ng contact numbers, or you can course it to Joseph, I get to see that regularly. Karen also, George is also good.
So if there are no more questions, magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat.